Good afternoon, everyone. So this is the second part of the Module 4, which is the Value Proposition Canvas. Value Proposition Canvas, so it is initially developed by Dr. Alexander Osterwalder as a framework to ensure that there is a fit between the product and the market. So it is a detailed look at the relationship between two parts, which is the customer segments and the value proposition. So the value proposition canvas can be used when there is a need to refine an existing product or service offering or where a new offering is being developed from scratch. So it is a geometrical collage formed by the customer segment, canvas, and the value proposition template. So the value proposition canvas is formed around two building blocks, so the customer profile and the company's value proposition. Together, they are meant to impart an understanding of what features and functionalities a product should possess to meet the requirements of our particular category of users. So the canvas structure can be shaped either of two circles or squares or other geometric patterns you may like, but its essence lies in the content to be specified inside. So the value proposition canvas has two sides. First is the customer profile. So it is where you clarify your customer's understanding. So it describes a specific customer segment in your business model in a more structured and detailed way. So here, you do not deal with the product, but only with the end user's challenges. So it is the set of customer characteristics that you assume, observe, and verify. So the customer profile is cut into three pieces where you have to define tasks and expectations the customers are going to fulfill, as well as the positive and negative experiences associated therewith. So first, under the customer profile is the customer's job. So customers' jobs describe what customers are trying to get done in their work and in their lives as expressed in their own words. So this includes different tasks, problems, or wishes that the customer is intended to deal with, solve, or satisfy. So by doing so, you refine the customer segments from emotional, so it's either preference or popularity, social, so could be reputation or sense of duty, and functional perspective or practicability. The second is the pains. So pains describe bad outcomes, risk, and obstacles related to customer's job. So based on the customer profile, you can identify what negative or frustrating outcomes or experiences might be associated with the described jobs. So since the perception of negative experiences differs from versatile categories of users, it is better to cover as many as pains as possible. Lastly is the gains. So gains describe the outcomes customers want to achieve or the concrete benefits they are seeking. So basically, it is just the same with positive experiences the customers have. So it should be noted that pains and gains are not polar notions. That is, gains should include the things that makes customers satisfied or even happy, rather than simply being a converse of the pains. They may be quite existential and free of any extraordinary nature. In the value proposition Canvas customer profile, you may attempt to read your client's thoughts. So it's not about telepathy, but it is understanding why they want to complete certain tasks, what causes the negative experiences, and how to exceed their expectations. Okay, so the second side of the value proposition canvas is the value proposition map or the value map. So it is where you describe how you intend to create value for that customer. So the value map describes the features of a specific value proposition in your business model in a more structured and detailed way. So here we are going to deal with the product. So these are the set of value proposition benefits that you design to attract customers. So the focus is made on features, functionality, and benefits it can offer to not only attract customers, but also to meet the requirements from the right part. So basically, this is the product related section that corresponds to the relevant customer profile section. So this is also divided into three parts. First, under the value map is the products and services. So this is a list of all products and services a value proposition is built around. So here you can mention not only the product itself, but also its versions like premium, standard, or anything like that. So this field should not be filled with a list of features your product will possess. This should focus on what you can offer to get the customer's jobs done. Okay. The second part is the pain relievers. So pain relievers describe how your product and services alleviate customer pains. So this section of the value proposition model is responsible for the ability of your product to solve the desired pain. So it is not necessary to describe how the pain is relieved in details. So a simple statement of the facts that eliminates the current frustration with the job to be done will be enough to put here. Third is the gain creators. So gain creators describe how your product and services create a customer gains. So it should explain how your product's extra value, which it is going to provide to customers. So the idea is to offer something new and unique to make the customer's experience not only better, but also exciting. So when the value map meets your customer profile, you achieve fit. So it is when your product and services produce pain relievers and gain creators that match one or more of the job, pains and gains that are important to the customers. So under the customer profile, we have the customer's jobs. So jobs describe the things your customers are trying to get done in their work or in their life. So a customer job could be the tasks they are trying to perform and complete, the problems they are trying to solve, or the needs that they are trying to satisfy. So you need to make sure that the customer's perspective when investigating jobs. So because what you might think of as an important from your perspective might not be a job that the customers are actually trying to get done. Okay, so there are three main types of customers' jobs to be done and the supporting jobs. So first is the functional jobs. So functional jobs are when your customers try to perform or complete a specific task or solve a specific problem. For example, when you are writing a report. Second is the social jobs. So social jobs are when your customers look good or gain power or status. So these jobs describe how customers want to be perceived by others. So example, when they want to look trendy para just to be perceived as sabay sa uso, di ba? So third is the personal or emotional job. So it is when your customer seeks a specific emotional state such as feeling good or secured. So example, when you are seeking peace of mind of your investment as a consumer. And the supporting jobs. So supporting jobs, customer also perform supporting jobs in the context of purchasing and consuming value, either as a consumers or as a professional. So these jobs arise from three different roles. First is the buyer of value. So jobs related to buying value such as comparing offers, deciding which product to buy, standing in a checkout line, completing a purchase, or taking delivery of a product or service. Um, Next is the co-creator of value. So these jobs related to co-creating value with your organization, such as posting product reviews and feedback, or even participating in the design of a product or service. And lastly, transfer of value. So jobs related to the end of the value proposition's life cycle, such as canceling a subscription, disposing of a product, or transferring it to others or reselling it. So it is important to acknowledge that not all jobs have the same importance to your customer. So some matter more in a customer's work or life because failing to get them failing to get them done could have serious ramifications. Some are insignificant because the customer cares about other things more. So sometimes a customer will deem a job crucial because it occurs frequently or because it will result in a desired or unwanted outcome. So next under the customer profile is the customer pains. So pain describe anything that annoys your customers before, during, or after trying to get a job done or simply prevents them from getting a job done. So pain also describes risk, that is potential bad outcomes related to getting a job done badly or not at all. So there are three types of customer pains. First is the undesired outcomes, problems, and characteristics. Because pains can be functional. So example, a solution does not work or does not work well, or if the solution has a negative side effect. It can also be social. So example, I look bad doing it, like that. So pains can also be emotional. Example, I feel bad every time I do this or that. So it can be ancillary. So example, it's annoying to go to the store for this. So this may also involve undesired characteristics customers don't like. Example, running to the gym is boring. Okay. So next type of customer pains is obstacles. So these are things that prevent customers from even getting started with a job or that slow them down. So example, I lack time to get this job done accurately, or I can't afford any of the existing solutions. So like that, those are obstacles. So the third type is the risk or the undesired potential outcome. So what could go wrong and have important negative consequences. So example, I might lose credibility when using this type of solution. So a customer pain can be extreme or moderate. So similar to jobs can be important or insignificant to the customer. So to clearly differentiate jobs, pains, and gains, describe them as concretely as possible. So when you understand how exactly customers measure pain severity, so you can design better pain relievers in your value proposition. Next in the customer profile is the customer gains. So gains describe the outcomes and benefits your customers want. So it includes functional utility, social gains, positive emotions, and cost savings. So there are four types of customer gains in terms of outcomes and benefits. First is the required gain. So these are gains without which a solution wouldn't work. So for example, the most basic expectation that we have from a smartphone is that we can make a call with it. Okay, so those are required gains. Second is the expected gain. So these are relatively basic gains that we expect from a solution, even if it could work without them. So for example, since Apple launched the iPhone, we expect phones to be well designed and look good. Third is the desired gains. So these are gains that go beyond what we expect from a solution, but would love to have if we could. So these are usually gains that customers would want, would, I mean, these are usually the gains that customers would come up with if you ask them. So for example, we desire smartphones to be seamlessly integrated with other devices. Next is the unexpected gains. So these are gains that go beyond expectations and desires. So they wouldn't even come up with them. I mean, they wouldn't even come up with these gains if you ask them, if you ask the customers. Example, before Apple brought touch screens and the app store to the mainstream, nobody really thought of them as part of the phone. So, a customer gain can feel essential or nice to have, just like pains can feel extreme or moderate to them. So, as with pains, it's better to describe gains as concretely as possible. So, to clearly differentiate jobs, pains, and gains from one another. So, when you understand how exactly customers measure gains, that is outcomes and benefits. So you can design better game creators in your value proposition. Under the value map are the products and services. So this is simply a list of what you offer. So it's an enumeration of all the products and services your value proposition builds on. So um, this bundle of products and services helps your customers complete either functional, social, or emotional jobs, or help them satisfy basic needs. So it is crucial to acknowledge that products and services don't create value alone, only in relationship to a specific customer segment and their jobs, pains, and gains. So your list of products and services may include supporting ones that help your customers perform the rules of a buyer. So those that help customers compare offers, decide and buy. They can also be co-creators. So it is when you help customers co-design value propositions, or they can also be transferers. So those that help customers dispose a product. So your value proposition is likely to be composed of various types of products and services. So it could be physical or tangible. So these are goods such as manufactured products. It could be intangible products such as copyrights or services. It could also be digital. So products such as music downloads or services such as online recommendation. It could be financial, so products such as investment funds, insurance, or services such as financing of our purchases. So it is essential to acknowledge that not all products and services have the same relevance to your customer. So some products and services are essential to your value proposition. Some are merely just nice to have. So next in the value map is the pain relievers. So pain relievers describe how exactly your products and services alleviate a specific customer pains. So they explicitly outline how you intend to eliminate or reduce some of the things that annoy your customers before, during, or after they are trying to complete a job, or that prevent them from doing so. So great value propositions focus on pains that matters to customers. So in particular, extreme pains. So you don't need to come up with a pain reliever for every pain you've identified in the customer profile. So no value proposition can do that. So great value propositions often focus only on the few pains that they elevate extremely well. So, sample triggered question that can help you think of different ways your products or services may help your customers elevate pain. So, you can ask, could your products and services make your customer feel better? So, by killing frustrations, annoyances, and other things that give your customers a headache. So, could it put an end to difficulties and challenges your customers encounter? So, it could be by making things easier or eliminating obstacles. Could it eliminate risk your customers fear? So it could be in terms of financial, social, technical skills, technical risk, or things that you could potentially go wrong. So a pain reliever can be more or less valuable to the customer. So make sure that you differentiate between essential pain relievers and ones that are nice to have. So the former relieve extreme issues, often in a radical way, and create a lot of value. So the latter merely relieve moderate pains. And lastly, in the value map is the gain creators. So gain creators describe how your products and services create customer gains. So they explicitly outline how you intend to produce outcomes and benefits that your customer expects, desires, or would be surprised, including functional utility, social gains, positive emotions, and cost savings. So as with pain relievers, gain creators don't need to address every gain identified in the customer profile. So focus on those that are relevant to the customers and where your products and services can make a difference. So sample trigger questions that can help you in thinking of different ways your products and services may help your customers obtain required, expected, desired, or unexpected outcomes and benefits. So you could ask, could your products and services create savings that please your customers? So it can be in terms of money, time, or effort. So could it produce outcomes your customers expect or that exceed their expectations? So it could be by offering quality levels, more of something or less of something. So could it create positive social consequences? So it could be by making them look good or producing an increase in power or status. Could it do something specific that customers are looking for? So it could be in terms of good design, guarantees, or specific or more features. Could it produce positive outcomes matching your customer success and failure criteria? So it could be in terms of better performance or lower cost. So a gain creator can produce more or less relevant outcomes and benefits for the customers, just like what we have seen for pain relievers. So make sure you differentiate between essential and nice to have gain creators. Next is fit. So fit can be achieved when customers get excited about your value proposition. So which happens when you address important jobs, alleviate extreme pains, and create essential gains that your customers care about. However, fit is hard to find and maintain. So that is why it is important to address the essential customer gains and extreme customer pains. Fit happens in three stages. The first stage is called the problem solution fit. It is the on paper stage. So at this stage, you do not have evidence that customers care about your value proposition. This is when you strive to identify the relevant customer jobs, pains and gains, and design value proposition accordingly. Here you prototype multiple alternative value propositions to come up with the ones that produces the best fit. The fit you achieve is not yet proven and exists mainly on paper. That is why it is called the on paper stage. So the next step is to provide evidence that customers care about your value proposition or start over with designing a new one. The second stage is called the product market fit. So it is the market stage. So during the second phase, you strive to validate or invalidate assumptions underlying your value proposition. So you will inevitably learn that many of your early ideas simply don't create value. That is, customers don't care. So, and we'll have to design new value propositions. So, finding the second type of fit is a long and iterative process. So, it does not happen overnight. The third stage is called the business fit model. So, it is the bank stage. So, it is the stage that you have evidence that your value proposition can be embedded in a profitable or scalable business model. So, however, this would entail laborious back and forth designing a value proposition that creates value for your organization. So, before I end, let me share to you this quote from Andrew Davis. We can't be everything to everyone, but we can be something to someone. Thank you.